Welcome to the Aesthetics Unfiltered podcast. We are Michelle Jones and Melanie Torres, two leading medical aesthetic nurse practitioners and great friends based in California. We uncover the inner workings of the booming aesthetics industry from both the patients as well as the providers' perspectives.
Join us for the authentic conversations about current and trending treatments, best practices, and the real issues people face with modern beauty standards. Any information or advice given is general in nature. You should consult with a healthcare provider before undergoing any treatment.
Welcome to episode 4, everybody. We are talking about what's trending in aesthetics, also celebrity faces, and what's going on with our favorite celebrities, and Melanie and my take on what we think is going on. And it should be a juicy episode. I'm Michelle Jones. I'm an aesthetic nurse practitioner. I'm your host. And then you have Melanie Torres, who's my co-host and also an aesthetic nurse practitioner. So let's get started. And sorry for the delay. My cat is my baby and she's been having some medical emergencies. You could follow my Instagram stories for juicy updates.
So yeah, let's go on to the next topic, the celebrity faces that we're seeing all these changes in, and just, it's all of this talk about it and how treatments are getting out of hand and what's going on. And let's go over some of the ones that we're seeing. And again, this is nothing personal to the celebrities or the athletes or whoever. I mean, because you and I get treatments too. We all in America, a lot of people are getting treatments, especially people in the public eye, because they are getting paid to look attractive. So of course they're going to have to upkeep on their looks. But I mean, it really started with the Kardashians, and everyone talks about them. So we don't really have to go over that. The main one that it started talking about this year was like the whole Kylie Jenner transformation. And, she's obviously done a lot of treatments. I actually respect her because she admits that she does them, she's like, which I actually think is really cool. And she's one of the celebrities that literally started aesthetics with her fake lips, and the world loved them, girls love them. And then basically that family is the person that brought us into business, so
That's actually true. I guess we should thank her.
Thank you guys for getting me a job. I mean,
it's actually kind of true.
It's 100%.
Maybe we should be appreciative of her instead of just talking shit about her every 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know. The whole Kylie thing is kind of complex because I think, I guess my issue is I don't watch I should watch more recent episodes, but as far as I know, they're not really forthcoming in all the treatments they're doing. And I don't know if they're lying, but I just feel like it's bad for mental health for young girls their age too, that want to look like them and think it's just not a whole production of different events. Or maybe young girls do know that it's a lot of different surgeries and things. There's that whole meme that's you're not ugly, it's just you don't have enough money or whatever. Have you seen that one where it's no. God, it's so depressing.
That's so nasty.
It's rich girl face, and it's Jesus. It's so toxic. I don't know, but I have so many conflicting feelings. Yes, we shouldn't judge her. She's trying to navigate this crazy world for herself, but she's also put herself in the limelight. And I think a lot of what she does affects other young people mentally for mental health that, it's obvious to me that I know nothing about, no one knows what she's done, but for me, it looks obvious that she's had surgeries as an aesthetic injector, and I don't know how forthcoming she is about that. And so that's my main issue I have about it. But at the same point,
this year though, she completely transformed, because I think she started going out with Timothée Chalamet. And then I think one of the things that made her look so different this year, and I'd love to see what you think she got this year, is when she went to I forget where it was, Cannes or something, and then everyone said that she had this whole transformation from going to this LA kind of slutty sexual person to this kind of conservative mother, because she started her own fashion line, so I think she was trying to make herself look more sophisticated, and now she's a mom.
Cool.
She's going from younger TikTok girl to mom, professional woman. That was how I saw her transformation. But why does her face look so different now?
I mean, she definitely did something different to her lips. I mean, I don't know if it was all filler originally. Like, it probably was like a lip lift surgery and like maybe filler. I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. But it looks like her lips are less migrated. They look more crisp. So they look better to me. They look kind of good when I see them. They look full, but they fit her like cheekbones in the shape of her face. So I think that looks a lot better. I think the latest thing was there was a photo where she had a little puff under her eye. And God, I had that same puff under my eye today. I think people online, injectors just monopolized over like, oh, is bad tear trough filler, and like that's why you shouldn't do tear trough filler. And it's like, not everything is fucking filler, okay? Like, she probably just had allergies or was healing from a laser, and maybe she had some tear trough filler migration, but like usually migration isn't like poof out of nowhere. It's like a slow, steady. I don't think Madonna's face was all filler. I think it was probably like a fat transfer surgery that takes a few months for like the fat to like settle into the face, because I think Madonna looks a lot better too. And it was like, again, it's like all of us injector trolls are just like, it's filler, and it's like it probably wasn't. It probably was a fat transfer.
People were so mean about her. I love Madonna.
So mean. She's like 60 something, like,
right.
And she's out there in like a leotard with like a banging body. It's like, relax, like. And same thing happened with Gwen Stefani too. Actually, I remember she had an interview, and there was a point where like her face was going viral because it looked really puffy.
Hers
and, like,
looks. She has gotten so much plastic. She looks like way younger.
She looks different.
She's almost like 60 years old, and she looks like she's like 25. But
she looks done. But hey, she looks good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I mean, she definitely looks like she's had every treatment done. She looks like she's had a facelift, lip filler, a nose job. Looks like she's had a chin reconstruction or filler. Like, the girl's had everything. But, I think that one time when her face looked really, really puffy, it probably just was like she was healing from a laser or fat transfer surgery or something. And people were really mean online about it and blamed filler again. And it's like, there's other things besides filler that make you puffy. I hate to say that, but like, it's not just filler, people.
Well, I think as I live in LA, like I think what a lot of celebrities do is they go to these big events, because I've actually treated celebrities before. They come to you like a week before the treatment, before the event, and want like a last minute treatment. Luckily, I didn't like.
That's stressful.
Luckily, my person looked good afterwards, and it was a very subtle, natural treatment. But I think they get it closer to these events, and they're always getting photographed that sometimes it's not a healed result.
Yeah, sometimes it's not healed, and we don't want to say no to celebrities, right? It's like, we'll do whatever, But I just think like, I think injectors know that it's probably not filler. They just want to like get attention, and it's like whatever's going to give them the most clicks on that post, unfortunately. But, I don't think Kylie's under eye was filler personally in that photo. Like, I think it was probably just terrible lighting, and maybe she didn't have all of her makeup on, or maybe she was just like had bad allergies and was crying. Like, maybe there was some filler component, but like, unless it was like recent filler, like I doubt it like just blew up out of nowhere. And that I think it's the same thing with Jennifer Aniston in that photo too. I was like kind of annoyed scrolling with all the injectors being like, don't do under eye filler. And it's like, bitch, it probably wasn't filler. Like, can you just calm down?
Right.
Like,
I mean, hers does look different. And I think it wasn't just a one-off thing, because she looks different. So? And then they showed her going into the med spa in Connecticut with like Sandra Bullock or something. Hers does, like, the one that I totally agree that you're saying is that a lot of times people over exaggerate it, but her tear troughs do look a lot different. And to me, when I've seen puffy tear trough, when it's too superficial, it gets like puffy like that. And that's, to me, that was the one person that actually really did have tear trough filler. The other ones,
you think Jennifer Aniston did?
I do.
Oh,
and
I don't think it was.
Really?
I disagree, yeah.
Really? You think it's just regular aging?
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but because I thought I saw a photo like a month later where she looked way better. So like, maybe the photo just made her so depressed she got an under eye surgery, like, and got a lower bleph and just to like fix it. Like, I don't know, but I always just think it's so obvious that like, I just think celebrities would know better, but maybe they don't. Maybe
Well, I
they
know
don't.
because sometimes you get pressure, you to want to do it, and then tear troughs are a very sensitive area, and some, not all, like occasionally it can be a bad outcome. But I think with her, because she's on camera and she has a show that if it was like, she would get it dissolved right away,
I just have I don't think I've had any of my patients look like that before. So like, I would be surprised if she went to someone who did that to her. Like, that's kind of silly to me. And, usually if you're a little bit older and you have loose skin, it's just like a bad idea in general. So I don't know who would inject her with under eye filler. I think it's a bad idea, but maybe somebody did.
So we don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
I just think that's obvious not to do. But like, I guess what if it was like PRF or something like that, like the plasma under the eyes? Like maybe it was just like day 2 or day 3 of the PRF, which is like your blood being spun, because that's kind of normal for PRF.
That's a good call. That is, because it can look like that for a few days while it's settling in.
Actually, that could have been what it was.
Interesting. I think you made that could be it, because you're right.
Because PRF looks really puffy for a few days and then it settles down and looks really good. So maybe she did like the plasma, which I would agree with.
Right.
And not like a hyaluronic acid filler.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
I mean,
that's
but
what I'm going to go with.
I think you might be right on that. Good call. But
and it could have been Kylie too.
I don't know. Yeah. Hers was, she just had that was just a bad photo shoot. But I feel so bad for all these celebrities, because like,
I feel bad for them.
Because sometimes pictures just look horrible, and like, and you get scrutinized, and then those are the ones that everyone keeps for the celebrities. Or
people could just Photoshop people really awfully and just like make it go viral, and it's actually like not even a realistic photo, and they're just like trying to make them look terrible to get attention. Like, you actually never know. You know what I mean? Like, it could be like completely fabricated and just made up. Like, that's what makes me sad. We just don't know. What are your... There are other ones.
Okay, so someone who has 100% gotten something, and when I first saw it, like Tom Brady has definitely gotten work done. He's young. We have some before and afters if we post them. He like definitely got a facelift. I think he definitely gets a lot of Botox, because when he was doing the roast, his roast was really funny, by the way.
I haven't watched that one yet.
He literally looks like a different person. He had so much forehead Botox that he couldn't like laugh. His upper face had no movement.
Oh, really?
And he's a really handsome guy, but he has definitely probably had a facelift and got tons of Botox, but he was already a really good looking guy. So I don't know why he had to do that stuff. He's a handsome man.
I don't know. I don't know if it's in like, if people are just conditioned to that, or they see an injector who just like gets in their head and just like pushes them into things. I mean, I think he looks good. He just looks like kind of like an AI avatar to me. Like,
he looks a lot more feminine as well. Like, because he got, I think, a facelift because his eyes are a lot like more slanted.
Yeah,
they kind of look. He looks a lot more feminine, but his face 100% looks different. Really, really different. And like, that's someone that I know. Maybe it's just Botox and plastic surgery, but he looks 100% different. And he's someone that I wouldn't have been like, oh, he needs to get treatments to look better, because he's a handsome younger guy.
I don't know what he looked like before. I'm sorry, I'm not educated on that, but like, he just looks very metro. And maybe that's a look now. I don't know. I mean, I felt like that was a thing for a while. I don't know. I think everyone's just trying to navigate this aesthetics world to look the most natural as possible. And we're all like terrified of looking like not natural, And that can even come with like veneers too. Like, bad veneers can make people look like
really fake.
That goes into play too. Like,
that's huge. That's huge in LA. It's like that, like, and it makes it look more fake when you have like a full set of fake teeth. You know, I would just do like braces or Invisalign and then do like teeth bleaching or something, because that makes everyone look a lot better, you know?
I think it depends on the who's doing the veneers. Some look really, really good and like is helpful. That's like a whole aesthetic too that I know nothing about, and I've seen ones that are really pretty on people and some that I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, I think on men, we just have to be extra, you know, with men that are already doing cosmetic work with the veneers, it's
Right.
a lot.
Right.
It's definitely a look.
I think he had a nervous breakdown because his wife divorced him and he was going back on the dating scene, and he retired, so there was all these pressures of life changes, and like, you know, sometimes in aesthetics it's like last minute, like you'll just have a bad month,
I do too.
Or like you'll go through a breakup, or you'll be depressed or something, and they'll be like, I'm gonna go get a facial, or I'm gonna go get a little treatment to make myself look a little better, because I think a lot of people do it for like a psychological aspect, so he makes that makes perfect sense for his situation. Yeah,
That's a good point. I think what motivates people to do these things and look a certain way is, I think we're all just trying to have better self-esteem, you know? Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's definitely like an esteem boost when we feel like we look better, at least for myself. I know next week I'm probably going to do a whole bunch of shit in my face. I'll let you know. Because I'm a little sad with my cat.
Yeah, you look great, Michelle.
This week.
You look great, Michelle. You don't need anything done.
I always am like, tell my patients, I'm like, if I start looking crazy, like nothing offends me, just let me know. Like, I'll take any feedback, because sometimes we do need the feedback of like, and my patients are honest. They're like, dude, like, you're looking a little done, or like,
I don't think you need
any. Honest.
I don't think you need anything, Michelle. I swear, you look perfect.
Well, remember, I have a ton of makeup on, 2 ring lights.
Right.
And like the max amount of makeup I could find. So,
well, I am going to come visit you soon, and we can do like a podcast up there, and like, you know, see. Yeah, I'll do a full facial assessment of you, and you can do a full facial assessment of me, and we can like, you know, show people how that's done in a consult.
I think that's good. Yeah. I mean, I also know that from aesthetics, like I think I've done a good job for my age, and I am proud of how I look and how I'm aging, and that I'm not looking too done, and that makes me feel a little bit like happy, and that it's hard to navigate. It's easy as an injector to look like too done. You know what I mean? It's actually really hard for us to age naturally, because there's so many resources for us.
Yeah.
That like we're just like, let's put this in and that in, and like sometimes we just need to like chill and like
totally
not look crazy.
But I think there are good examples. You know, we talked about the celebrities that have like, you know, have gotten some bad photos done or some botched work, and you know, it's fixable. But you know, there are great treatments too, where it's a great outcome and a natural outcome, and all of these people that come in. I mean, and celebrities, probably literally every single celebrity or performer has gotten some sort of aesthetic treatment, like, because their job is to look good, you know, that's their profession. And so they're great ones too. Like my patients always ask, they're like, what do you think Anne Hathaway has done? I mean, she looks really good. She looks like incredible. She had some sort of makeover. Like she's always been a beautiful woman. But I think I did some research. She definitely had some rhinoplasty. That's also huge in Los Angeles. Like everyone gets rhinoplasty. She did that when she was younger, but then she was like aging gracefully and naturally. But then like she's around your age. She's probably in her 40-ish. And all of a sudden one year, like last year or something, she just came out of the woodwork and she looked like absolutely stunning, but naturally stunning, and not too done and not too tight and not too... She doesn't, I don't think she's had a facelift, but she looks amazing, and that shows that there are good outcomes, like with good, you know, good treatments.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just really wish like some of the celebrities would be like really honest with like what they're doing, because it would be like very enlightening for us. Like, hey, this is really what I do every month. Like, I do like microneedling every month. I put a drop of Skin Vive all over. Like, if you're a celebrity out there and you want to be on our podcast, let us know. But I think that would be like really mentally healthy for the public. And right now, when we have no idea what celebrities are doing, it's like it's slightly toxic, I think. It's like, we know everything else about your life, but like, why is it such a big deal about your face? Like, just come out and say it. That would be really helpful.
Well,
Thank you.
I think, well, if celebrities don't like
God.
option to do that, I think we should definitely have a podcast where we just literally, each of us goes over every single treatment that we've done and just show like age-wise when we've had what done. And I think that will be like education in itself. And and if a celebrity wants to come on and do the same thing, I would love it if they could do that too.
Because I think like my big thing in our industry is like transparency, and like I feel like that's lacking in a certain way in our industry. And I mean, I don't know, like part of me is like, did Anne Hathaway, is her photo disfiltered and like she does have lines on her? Like who knows, right? Like what we're being fed, like we have no idea. Like that's what's really hard too, is it's like we see good photos of them and then we see really terrible photos of them. So it's like I could have like a photo of me right now, and then I could have a photo of me when waking up and I look like death, right? So it's like, it's all very misleading in my opinion, but I think we can tell if somebody looks overfilled, you know, and it makes me a little bit sad because I love filler. I think it's such an amazing tool, and I feel like there is so much training on filler because it's such a nuanced like skill. And I think to make it look natural takes a lot of training. And like, it just makes me sad when there's such good results with filler that looks so natural. And then we're just like, ooh, like we just dismiss it as a community because people want to get famous on TikTok and they have nothing else to talk about. Like that makes me really sad because there's so many amazing results, and our products with fillers are different than they were 5-10 years ago, even 20 years ago. Our products are more natural. They're more like sophisticated. They're integrating into the skin better. Like, and I don't know if patients, they know that to an extent, but I think people just get scared and they just like dismiss it altogether because it's so confusing and it's hard to trust someone and find someone that they like can trust with their face, you know?
And I think I agree. And also like, you know, media as usual always focuses on the negative, and they just point out bad outcomes and make people scared. And it's like really annoying. It's super annoying.
It's really annoying.
You know, I know.
So, I don't know. I just feel like it's gotten a little bit ridiculous. And the migration talk, like if I hear the word migration one more time, I just am gonna scream in a pillow because like it's a little blown out of proportion personally.
Right.
It's like, and it's not like an emergency. It's like you can dissolve it. Life's gonna be okay. There's a spectrum. If you look really crazy, someone will tell you.
Right.
Like, you know.
I think it was like a lip filler trend because a lot of people went overboard on it, and it does migrate in the lips because you're always talking and chewing and whatnot, so it is movable there. But migration in other areas, it's not, you know, it happens subtly, but it's not like as noticeable as in the lips. And I think people are capitalizing on the negative again.
Just capitalizing on it. It's exhausting.
Because I remember when I thought that I had
you
too big of
dissolved my lip.
No, I dissolved
Remember?
your lips, but I also one day I was having some sort of mental, you know, visible look thing where I was upset about my looks, and I remember one day I was like, my cheeks are too big, Michelle, like please, and you were like, I don't think it's filler, Melanie, I think that's just your natural cheeks.
That's your bone structure.
And then I remember I had you dissolve them, and they looked the same. So it was because I was thinner, and it wasn't filler. It was just as you get older, you know, you lose fat in your face and you look, as you age, your face looks thinner because you're losing collagen and whatnot. And so it was not filler. It was just my cheeks were prominent because I'm getting older.
Yeah, I know. Migration, yes. People have had some crazy lips the last 10 years. Luckily, we've been dissolving and making them look better. I'm glad that train has happened, but I think there's also like people are paranoid about getting to that stage, and it's like, I'm glad that there's awareness, but like, you know, if you have a mustache of a puff above your lip, then yes, we should take it out. If you have lumps in your lips, please take them out. But like, it's not, I think people are so freaked out who have never done filler that they're just going to get migration. And I give my whole spiel about like migration often happens on smaller lips, that when people want really big lips and their anatomy just can't handle the filler. It's like there's a threshold to every lip with filler. And when we're trying to go beyond that threshold, the filler has nowhere to go and it's probably going to move up. And usually it's not immediate. It's like after years of filling. And, you know, if your injector's a good injector, you shouldn't have lumps like in the mucosa of your lip. And sometimes, even if they're a great injector, it happens, you know, you just dissolve. You dissolve a little bit and you do a little less because your lips just can't handle that volume.
Right. It's if you do too much filler, and to me, I could be wrong, but this is Aesthetics Unfiltered. I don't think people should get lip filler every 6 months. I think even once a year is too much, in my opinion. And the way it migrates is if you keep doing too much, it's basically getting pushed out of your lips because your lips can't handle that much filler. So I'm really conservative on filler in the lips. Like, once a year is a lot, even in my book. I would do it every year and a half, or, you know, hold off for a little bit. Don't just keep coming back every 6 months saying you want more filler.
I mean, I think what's hard is like back in the day, like maybe 8-10 years ago, we were told filler only lasts a year. And it's like, okay, well, come back every year and we'll refill it and we'll put a whole new syringe in there. And like really we've learned that filler, even on MRI study, I think under the under eye read, I think it was 12 years, at least 12 years that they identified some filler in the periorbital region under someone's eyes on MRI in a peer-reviewed like journal. So there was awareness of like, oh, filler can last a lot longer than we thought. But like everyone's metabolism is different. Some people like break down that filler, a majority of it within that time. Some people it just stays for a long time.
But it's not, when they said residual, it didn't mean the whole amount they put in. It means a little tiny bit stayed that long.
Right.
So like when I'm saying it stays in your lips, it's not like the entire syringe will stay there more than a year. It's just like maybe 20% or 10% will still be there. But if you keep doing it every year, that 10% keeps adding up over the years.
Yeah, I mean, there's thought too that like the filler might look different in the skin over time because it's being broken up and it can maybe pull more water into it and like actually expand. Like, I don't know. I need to read the articles. So who knows? I think these are all things that, yes, they're real, but it's like a small percentage of people. These are the people that are getting overfilled that we're running into these problems. It's not like we're only filling what you need type cases. It's like we're pumping in fillers when you have no other tool and that's all you're doing.
Right.
So like, I think if you're just treating really elegantly of like what you see, then you shouldn't run into that problem. But I wanted big lips in my early 30s. And I blew them up, and that was the trend back then. But then I realized I looked like a clown.
And then I dissolved them. And we videotaped it.
I tried. My lip couldn't handle it. I've accepted it. I need a surgical lip lift if I want full lips. I'm not ready for surgery yet. Probably with my next mental breakdown, I'll get it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. I hope not.
But
they look great. You look super
thank
natural.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think the migration thing, it's like usually overfilling and too much filler, and it happens slowly over time, and certain products, I don't know. It's complicated, but it's, you know, it's little tiny bits of migration, I think, can still look good, and it shouldn't be that dramatic. You know, sometimes you, like for me, like I did take out some of mine, but I didn't mind a little migration on my upper lip because I had no upper lip, and I just like, I can't win. So like there's gotta either take it all out and have no lip, or like I have a little migration and no one can really tell except my neurotic self and other injectors, and like I just gotta live with it, you know? And and tear trough migration, I mean, that's been a big topic this year too, right? Have you seen a lot of that, or not so much?
I don't see it though. No, I've never had to.
Really? You're just good at them. God, you're lucky.
I had it it was because this was before I worked in aesthetics, like one of the first times I got tear trough filler. I got it because I had really bad tear troughs, and like the guy did it too superficial, and I had one little bleb like in my medial cheek, and then
Oh, I remember that.
yeah, and someone just dissolved it. It was super
Yeah,
easy.
I had that too.
Yeah, that's more about placement and about like
Yeah.
injection, like
Well,
experience.
that was migration though. Like
Yeah, it was a
technically.
little one like right there, and I just need a little
Yeah.
bleb of Hylenex. So Hylenex, all of these HA fillers, they are dissolvable with a medication called hyaluronidase, and so you can get it injected in, and the HA filler can go away, which is great. And so migration is fixable. So people,
Yeah.
these influencers who aren't even injectors, talk about, because fear in media, fear brings in money and clicks. So
Yeah.
you always want to hear about
Yeah.
the negative. That's why they talk about murders. That's why they talk about Joe Biden falling, et cetera, et cetera. But like migration most of the time does not happen. And it's
Yeah.
fixable if it is. So it's not like the
Yeah.
end all be all.
I mean, I think we've had migration for a long time. It's just like now we're hyper aware of it. And like, yes, I've seen more tear trough migration in my practice, and not a lot, but like sometimes just it can be a perfect outcome. And then 3 years later, you might get a little puff there, and it's not the end of the world. We just take a little bit of the dissolver, and if it's hard to dissolve, I would use ultrasound and kind of really selectively pinpoint where it is. But I think it's being blown out to like something more dramatic than it needs to be. I mean, I think the one good thing that came out of the whole migration fear thing is at least people are coming in for a little bit like more natural looking lips, in my opinion, or like even if they want big lips, they want it really crisp and not poofy, which is more my aesthetic. So I'm happier with that. So that's one good outcome out of that is I feel like at least we've trained the aesthetic eye and the population better.
For sure.
So yeah, I mean, migration's always a topic.
Yeah, we can.
I got off topic.
No, you didn't.
But we were talking about celebrities and their eyes. So Mel thinks that Jennifer Aniston did have filler. I think she had PRF, or it was just shitty lighting and people are mean.
But I think the PRF thing, now that you educated on, like you reminded me of, that's an option. I think that you could be correct on that. So people can tell us thoughts on what happened, and then maybe we can do a little look online to see if there are any new pictures of her. But like in worst case scenario, if she did have poorly placed filler, or if it migrated or it was too much, it's probably going to be dissolved by now, because you can do that, and she's like one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood, so I'm sure her eyes are looking great now because everyone talks about it all the time.
I guess my issue is just even injectors in our industry are blaming filler, which is kind of stupid because like that's what we do. Like just like why, like I don't know, like why, if we don't know it's filler and you're just like blaming under eye filler, like it kind of makes our industry look dumb too.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know why you're doing that. Like,
Right.
It's not really, why is it helping you? Like, can you just give like a possibility of things it could be?
Right.
It's like,
And
be a
that's-
little more creative.
Maybe they did it. Maybe the person that was like
Be more
talking about it,
creative.
maybe they're the ones that injected it. It's like they did. I saw some.
Oh,
This is
maybe.
random. This is random, but I saw another thing, a contradiction online this week, on a podcast. A doctor, like a person that a medical aesthetic practitioner, a physician, was like, oh, well, all of these injectors are just not well trained, and they come in with doing a 2-hour course, and they're not well educated. But then I was like, wait, girl, Miss Doctor, but you're a trainer who trains these people to be taught how to do it, and then you're saying that they're not well trained. But I was like, that's your job, is to train them. So do you think that your job is not good enough for them to be, people doing the treatment? I just thought that was a little bit like hyper, like contradictory.
It's kind of weird. I don't know what we're doing anymore. It's like, we'll be a better trainer and get better education going.
Right. Well,
I don't know.
If you don't think that they're properly ready to do it, then why are you training them? And then maybe you're not a good trainer if you
Because
are.
our industry is very greedy. and people are, anyhow, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
On that note, yay.
Yay.
I think we should wrap this one up.
Okay.
So yeah, come follow us. We're going to have lots of heated discussions in here. It's definitely unfiltered today, but you can come follow us on aesthetics.unfiltered.podcast. Tell us topics that you are interested in. Let us know your thoughts on what we talked about. Sorry if I offended anyone. I don't mean to, but you can throw it back at me if you need to.
You did not offend anyone.
Sorry for my cursing. It's just like liberating for me. I'm sorry. I have a potty mouth. But yeah, and then follow Melanie on Instagram. Mel, give them your
at
IG.
melanie.skin.np, and they're so we will see you in our next episode.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
For our latest news, follow us on Instagram at aesthetics.unfiltered.podcast or in our personal pages on Instagram.
Mine is melanie.skin.np and Michelle skin.smarty.np, both on Instagram. Have a great day.